Former Department of Public Works and Highways Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo implicates Senator Cheese Escudero and former Senators Bong Revilla and Nancy Binay in an alleged scheme involving anomalous flood control projects. Bernardo discloses these in his affidavit, which he read aloud during a Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing on Thursday, September 25. He also mentions the involvement of Bicol Representative Zaldico. Other government officials he names are Commission on Audit Commissioner Mario Lipana and Department of Education Undersecretary Trigif Olivar, as well as already implicated DPWH officials including dismissed district engineers Henry Alcantara and Bryce Hernandez. According to Bernardo, his allegations are based on personal knowledge and direct interactions with those involved. Bernardo admits he was close to businessman Maynard Ngu, a campaign contributor of Escudero. He says Ngu once asked him to submit a list of projects for inclusion in the General Appropriations Act. Bernardo says they agreed on a 20% cut.
After inclusion of the projects in the GAA, I delivered 20% of approximately 800 million or about 160 million to Maynard Ngu, which was meant for Senator Escudero. Finally, I would like to add that deliveries of cash were personally made to me, by me, to Maynard Ngu at his office in Manila.
Bernardo says Olivar was also involved in transactions with him. According to Bernardo, Olivar once worked under Revilla before transferring to the office of then-Senator Sonny Angara.
Sometime 2024, Yusek Olivar personally called me for a meeting to discuss about unprogrammed appropriations, supposedly for the office of the Executive Secretary. In the said meeting, he requested me to submit a list of projects. After the meeting, I asked Bulacan First DEO to prepare a list of projects for funding. Thereafter, Engineer Alcantara submitted a list of projects worth 2.85 billion.
Bernardo says he and Olivar agreed to a 15% cut. He claims he later delivered the amount to Olivar in Makati and other locations. Bernardo also alleges a similar arrangement with Revilla, whom he met in 2024 when he provided the former senator with a list of projects from Alcantara.
Senator Revilla asked for a commitment, which I suggested. Then he approved at 25% of the total amount of the projects indicated in the list. I relayed the 25% commitment to Engineer Alcantara and told him that Senator Revilla will appreciate additional contributions for his senatorial re-election bid.
He says the 25% commitment amounting to 125 million pesos was collected by Alcantara and delivered by him to Revilla in Cavite. Bernardo further alleges that a similar deal was made with Binay, whom he says he met through her aide Carlene Villa.
Sometime in the year 2024, Carlene Villa, a staff of trusted confidant of Senator Binay, called me and asked for a commitment which was set at 15% of the total amount of the projects indicated in the list.
He says Alcantara later delivered a 37 million peso commitment to Binay at her house in Quezon City. Bernardo also says that Lipana requested to be referred to officers of Hernandez. However, Bernardo says he did not know whether Lipana was able to secure a project. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 2 is raised over several parts of Luzon and Visayas as severe tropical storm Opong maintains its strength. In its 11 a.m. bulletin on Thursday, September 25, Pag-asa says it last spotted Opong 335 kilometers east of Giwan, Eastern Samar. It carries maximum sustained winds of 110 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 135 kilometers per hour. Signal number 2 is up over 10 areas in Luzon and Visayas where minor to moderate impacts are expected due to gale force winds. Meanwhile, signal number 1 is hoisted over 42 areas across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Pag-asa warns that areas under signal number 1 may experience strong winds, posing a minimal to minor threat to life and property. The State Weather Bureau says the highest wind signal that may be hoisted throughout the passage of Opong is signal number 4. According to Pag-asa, Opong will continue to intensify over the Philippine Sea and may reach typhoon category before making landfall over the Bicol region. However, it notes the possibility that Opong may remain a severe tropical storm before landfall due to marginally favorable environment. Opong is seen to pass close to northern Samar or may make landfall over the Bicol region by Friday morning or afternoon, September 26. Pag-asa emphasizes that heavy rainfall, severe winds, and storm surge may still be experienced in localities outside the landfall point and the forecast confidence cone. Nevertheless, the agency expects Opong to weaken as it crosses southern Luzon throughout Friday. It adds that re-intensification is highly likely once Opong emerges over the West Philippine Sea and exit the Philippine area of responsibility by Saturday afternoon or evening, September 27. Senator Bato Dela Rosa appeals to the Senate to support former President Rodrigo Duterte's bid for an interim release. Duterte is currently in the custody of the International Criminal Court in The Hague, Netherlands, after being arrested for allegedly committing crimes against humanity during his administration's war on drugs. Dela Rosa served as one of the Philippine National Police chiefs during the Duterte administration. Human rights groups report that at least 20,000 died due to Duterte's anti-drug campaign. In a privileged speech on Wednesday, September 24, Dela Rosa highlights the supposed deteriorating condition of the 80-year-old Duterte. Earlier Wednesday, Vice President Sara Duterte alleged that Philippine embassy officials at The Hague entered her father's detention unit under the pretense of conducting a welfare check and interviewed the former president without their family's permission. Echoing the Vice President's concerns, Dela Rosa condemns the alleged sham welfare check, particularly questioning the purpose of the interview.
Paano kaya nila pakikinabangan at gagamitin ang findings nila tungkol sa welfare niya? Para saan? Sa pilitan nyo na ngang ipinadampot sa mga dayuhan, pupuntahan nyo pa sa kulungan nang wala man lang abiso sa pamilya. Isn't that adding insult to injury? Can't you, just for a while, cut the old man some slack?
Dela Rosa emphasizes that if officials truly want to ensure former President Duterte's well-being, the Senate must support the resolution seeking his interim release. The senator adds that the chamber could also take up proposed Senate Resolution number 18. This resolution expresses the sense of the Senate and strongly urges the Philippine government to advocate before the ICC for the interim release of former President Duterte in the form of a house arrest arrangement at a residence in The Hague.
Hindi naman siguro kalabisan ang hiling na yan. Sa tingin ko ay hindi naman sobra. Lalo na't magpapasko na. If we accept the fact that he may not have long I hope with all my heart that he leaves this world not in the presence of officials who visit him on the pretext of a pseudo welfare check.
Meanwhile, in a brief manifestation following Dela Rosa's privileged speech, Senator Bongos says he is alarmed by reports of the former president's deteriorating health. Go is Duterte's former close aide. According to Go, even before Duterte's arrest in March, the former chief executive had difficulty remembering details.
I appeal to our colleagues, matanda na po si Tatay Digong, 80 na po siya sa kanyang edad, mahina na siya at may mga sakit na rin po. Harmless na po si Tatay Digong sa kanyang sitwasyon ngayon. Mas magiging harmful po kung merong mangyayari sa kanya doon sa The Hague, Netherlands.
Meanwhile, the Department of Foreign Affairs says the welfare check conducted of former President Duterte is in line with its functions under multilateral agreements and relevant Philippine laws. The ICC Pretrial Chamber 1 earlier ruled to postpone Duterte's confirmation of charges hearings after the defense's request to stop all legal proceedings. The defense's appeal is based on their claim that Duterte is not fit to stand trial due to supposed cognitive deficiencies.